Mr. Chair, we're live.
Thank you so much. I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is the regular meeting of the Baldwin Park Planning Commission for April 9th, 2025 at 7 p.m. If you're able to, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Place your hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty. Thank you. You may be seated. Planning Secretary, will you do roll call, please?
Yes, thank you. Chair Pena,
Present.
Vice Chair Gonzalez,
Present.
Commissioner Escobosa,
Here.
Commissioner Miranda de Zib,
Present.
and let the record reflect that Commissioner Rodriguez is absent.
Do I have a motion to excuse Commissioner Roman Rodriguez?
All motion. I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Chair Pena,
Yes.
Vice Chair Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner Escobosa,
Yes.
Commissioner Miranda de Zib.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right. Thank you so much. I now declare verbal communications open. Anyone wishing to address the commission on anything other than the items listed on the agenda may come to the podium. When you do come to the podium, you will be restricted. Your comments will be restricted for 3 minutes, and also please state your name, your full name as well.
Mr. Chair, we have received several speaker cards. I'd like to start with Yvetta Wiley, or Whitley, sorry.
Thank you. Please make sure your microphone's on. Please speak clearly so we can hear you loud and clear. And if you can also state your name, and then the 3 minutes will begin. Yes.
Thank you. Good evening
Good evening.
to the board meeting and everybody that's involved. My name is Juanetta Whitley. I live in La Puente, California. And I'm here for the presenting of the planning of the Florence meeting we're trying to propose to get a park over there. And we're hoping that we can get to see that we need a park in there instead of having, community like for people that living in the community. It's okay, but we need it for the family. We need it for our children. We need it for our senior citizens like me and others. So I'm standing here tonight for the proposal of this, that you all will stand with us to help us get a park instead of condos and villas over there. It's hard on the community. Our community need this. And I'm standing because I need somewhere to go to. And I hope you see in your heart that you can help us in trying to get a park in there. We don't have a park to go to. And I know it's coming to the end to what this proposal is about. But I'm just speaking for the community myself and asking you, please, that you all will help us get a park in that area. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you so much for your time. Next speaker.
The next speaker on my list, Yolanda Pompa.
Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good evening, City Baldwin Park Planning Commission. My name is Yolanda Pompa. I am here today to ask that you consider Bassett area residents and assist us in rejecting any zoning change for the proposal Storm property that wants to build 105 condos at the Florence Flanner Elementary School. Where we live, we think that this is a dangerous proposal given the narrow streets that the firefighters trying to put out a fire one year on 4th of July. Our streets cannot handle the traffic and parking. Please help us stop this development. Our community would like to see a park, a community center for the kids and Bassett community. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next speaker.
The next speaker is Jorge del Real Carlos.
Good evening. My name is Jorge del Real Carlos. I'm here to ask you guys to please reject the plan for rezoning for the Florence Flanner campus. It is not the best idea to build 105 condos. As you know, Baldwin Park as well as Bassett were in scarce necessity of green area, and by adding more condos, it's going to be worse. We ask you to not agree with the rezoning and maybe plan for a public community center, another park, something that is more resourceful for the entire community, not just for a private developer. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next speaker.
The next speaker is Leo.
My name is Hi, my name is Adele Vasquez. I think I'm speaking too loudly. Well, I'm here today for you guys to not yeah, I didn't make a sentence out.
It's okay.
I just don't want condos and there's a bunch of space there so I can go on my bike and ride instead of you guys building condos there and most affected area where cars only one can pass through and the other has to go to the side. That's all.
Thank you so much. Next speaker.
Next speaker is Luis Vasquez.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Luis Vasquez. I'm also here as a representative of my Bassett community. I currently live on the main street where the planned 105 condos are being proposed to build. Currently, our street is a two-way street with only enough room for one car to pass. These proposed 105 condos is just going to increase traffic, be a danger to my community, and just increase the congestion at all times. The school district of Bassett is entering or planning to enter into a very short-sighted agreement with Storm Properties for this land. It's a proposed 99-year lease for rental. It's a very short-sighted lease. 99 years. It's going to outlive me. It's going to outlive you. It'll outlive my daughter too. That's 99 years. It's ridiculous. And I'm also asking you all to please, when this gets presented to you, when this is presented, please reject it and think of our community. Please do not allow Storm Properties and to continue or plan to build these condos and ruin my community. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Next speaker.
Next speaker is Aaron.
Hello, my name is Aaron Vasquez. As you might know, I spoke in the last. So you guys can't just expect to put us all in a cage like animals and then wait for the Storm Properties to make the all 105 condos. And then we come out of the cage and we see our whole land is ruined. Can't have that, right? So please stop any rezoning and give the land back to the people. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next speaker.
The next speaker is let's see, Alonso. Sorry, I couldn't make out the last name, but I think we've got Alonso here. Maybe he can help me out with the name.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alonso Rodriguez. I am a resident of La Puente, unincorporated area, which is part of the Bassett School District area. That proposed property is in my backyard. It's literally in my backyard. Property line to City of Baldwin Park is my backyard. So I would be affected like a lot of my neighbors just expressed. It's a plan that shouldn't even be considered. Originally being an adult school, before I moved in, I've only been there for going on 9 years. But when I was notified, this was maybe 5-6 weeks ago, I just first learned about it. And apparently this plan has been on the table for several years now. And I think that's unfair that none of us in the community were considered about this project. I'm here to ask that you reject this plan to rezone that property. Storm Properties has no business building those condos in my backyard. Instead, the property should be considered what we're asking for, what we need, what every community needs, not only for children, but for ourselves, adults. And I'm here on behalf of a large number of my neighbors. I just barely made it through the door. I don't know if you noticed, but we all work. We're all hardworking residents, all working citizens, and it's nice to come home to a community where it's peaceful, even though we have had our accidents on the street because, they do get congested at times. And that's expected, but in my years that I've been there, I've seen no major accidents where children have been involved, because that's the last thing we want to see. And that's the last, my kids are grown. My wife and I moved into the neighborhood after our youngest graduated from high school, and we came from a highly congested area in the city of LA, and I wouldn't want to see that change. The things that we experienced where we lived, even though it was congested, was all productive. There was a baseball diamond. We lived across the street from a park. Okay, my kids were fortunate enough. My wife and I were fortunate enough to have the opportunity to live in a home across the street from a park. We considered it our home, Give us that opportunity to have a park in the community. I'd like to see that for myself, for the kids in the neighborhood, and for my grandkids. That's all I ask. There's plenty of property all around the city that Storm Properties can go to and build. They don't need to do it in our backyard. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. Seeing that there aren't any additional speaker cards, wanted to just check in if there are any additional speakers from the audience. Seeing no further, I now declare verbal communications closed. On to the consent calendar. The lone item on the consent calendar is the meeting minutes from the previous Planning Commission meeting. Would any commissioner would like to pull this item for discussion? All right. Do I have a motion to approve this item?
I'll motion. And I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Chair Peña,
Yes.
Vice Chair Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner Escobosa,
Yes.
Commissioner Miranda de Zip.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you for that. On to the public hearings. The first case on the agenda is to request the approval for the tentative parcel map to subdivide one 0.51 acre parcel into 2 parcels within the R1 single family residential zone pursuant to table 152.08 in the city's municipal code. With the applicant being Yang Wang and Mei Wang, the case number is TPM 83647. May we have your presentation?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. At this time, staff would like to request a continuance of this item. We'd like to continue this item to a date certain of April 23, 2025.
All right. With that in mind, is there a motion to continue this project for the April 23rd, 2025 Planning Commission meeting?
I will motion to continue. And I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Chair Peña,
Yes.
Vice Chair Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner Escobosa,
Yes.
Commissioner Miranda de Zub.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Great. So the Planning Commission has voted to continue the project to the April 23rd, 2025 meeting. On to the second item. The second case on the agenda is the request for approval of a conditional use permit to allow alcoholic beverage control license type 41 for the on sale of beer and wine in conjunction with an existing full-service restaurant. In this case, it's Cali Fresh Grill in the industrial commercial zone pursuant to table 153.050.020 of the Baldwin Park Municipal Code. Planning staff, may we have your presentation, please?
Thank you for this. And then for tonight, we're going to have one of our newer members of the planning team present. This is Francisco Rodriguez, our intern. Thank you.
Great. We look forward to your presentation.
Good evening, Chair, Vice Chair, and honorable members of the Planning Commission. Next slide. Before you is conditional use permit application CP 25-02, requesting approval to allow alcohol sales in conjunction with an existing restaurant within the IC Industrial Commercial Zone. Next slide, please. On February 26, 2025, the Planning Division received the aforementioned conditional use permit application form from Cali Fresh Grill, located at 15028 Ramona Boulevard. The subject restaurant, which is approximately 2,601 square feet in floor area, is located within an existing restaurant building. The existing restaurant is located on the southwest corner of Ramona Boulevard and Puente Avenue. The subject property is immediately surrounded by an existing industrial, commercial uses on all sides. As mentioned, the project site is located within the industrial commercial zone in the city of Baldwin Park and is designated as commercial industrial in the city of Baldwin Park general plan. The existing restaurant use is consistent with the city's general plan and zoning code requirements. Next slide, please. The applicant has operated in the city of Baldwin Park since November 14th, 2023, and specializes in Mexican and American style cuisines such as tacos, menudo, and hamburgers. Next slide, please. The applicant is requesting a type 41 alcohol license to allow for the sale of beer and wine in conjunction with an existing restaurant or eating place as defined by the State Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control. The applicant is not proposing any tenant or building improvements within the existing 2,601 square foot restaurant space, which consists of a dining room, service counter, kitchen, prep room, and 2 restrooms. Next slide, please. The subject restaurant is located within Census Tract 4052.01, which is authorized to have 5 on-sale licenses and 3 off-sale licenses per ABC. Pictured on the current slide is a proximity map that shows that there are currently no active on-sale licenses within the Census Tract. Per ABC standards, there will not be an overconcentration of alcohol uses in the area. Staff has determined that the granting of a Type 41 license to Cali Fresh Grill will not create an additional impact to surrounding properties in the Census Tract, as no changes will be made to the hours of operation and measures will be put in place to avoid over-serving of patrons or serving alcohol to minors. In addition, with the added conditions of approval and those conditions required by ABC, the applicant's request will not be detrimental to the public. Next slide, please. To conclude, staff recommends that the Planning Commission approve Resolution PC 25-10 to approve CP 25-02. Both planning staff and the project applicant are available for any questions or comments regarding the project. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much for that thorough presentation. Are there any questions of staff by the commission?
I have one question. In terms of the sale of alcohol at this establishment, will that just be during business hours?
Yes, yes, they will be operating or serving alcohol. I know it's in the staff reports that we mentioned.
Yeah, it's between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
And they are open from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Correct.
I would just want to highlight, according just to the sort of staff report, I know this isn't the first ABC license that we've looked at here at the Planning Commission, I know one of my always concerns is, has this business had any issues in the past with law enforcement? And I just do want to highlight, or code enforcement, or the police department, I do want to highlight that this business has not had any of those issues. And then I know made a really good point about whether there was going to be an overconcentration within that region, and no. I know that the only two competitors or other folks are a Pacific Liquor and then C of S Pharmacy, which of course they can't consume alcohol within within those establishments. So I just did want to highlight for the rest of the commission. Seeing that there aren't any additional questions to the from the commission to staff, I will now declare public hearing open. So I'll ask the applicant to come up just to the podium.
Yes, so the applicant, Lorena Gomez, is joining virtually.
Oh.
So Lorena, if you're joining in on the meeting, now is your time to join in and provide the comment.
And you'll have
Stand by.
3 minutes.
We don't have a Lorena, but we have an iPhone. Let me allow them to talk.
Yeah.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, well, due to emergency, I'm at the hospital right now, but I have provided all that info that was requested, asking you guys to allow us to have a opportunity to have a restaurant offering wine and beer to the public. And as he mentioned before, our time hours it will be from 10 to 5. I'm sorry that I'm kind of dizzy right now, so I can't express myself very well.
No worries at all. We recognize that you have an emergency, and certainly thank you so much for taking the opportunity to speak with us tonight.
I really appreciate it.
Of course.
There is also someone else from the applicant team here to speak on behalf of the project.
Yes. Would you like to come up? And if you can state your name, and you'll have 3 minutes.
My name is Martha Mendoza, and I'm the owner of Califish Grill. And I would like to, if you guys can attend me, please, the alcohol license. It's my first restaurant. And I want this, it's going to be a family restaurant. I want to keep it as a family restaurant. That's why the hours are like that for the alcohol. And it's just for the menudo and the caldos that I sell in the morning when people come in at 10, 11, and 12, and 1 o'clock. That's about it. I'm nervous. I'm sorry.
No worries at all.
Okay. But I would really appreciate if, it's my first restaurant. I don't know how to say it in English, pero que quiero que ayudar a la comunidad, que mi restaurante se vaya para arriba. Y si van y lo visitan, ustedes pueden ver que es un restaurante de familia. Y yo nomás lo que quiero es de que, porque la gente me pide, pues yo les doy lo que la gente me está pidiendo. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I just wanted to translate really quick and share that the applicant did share that she wants her restaurant to be a success and be part of the community.
Yes, that's what I want. I want this community to go up. I've been here since I was 15 years old. And like I told you, I have my own produce company, but I have a restaurant also. And I want to make it like it's not going to be a Cali Fresh Grill #1. It's going to be 5 Cali Fresh Grills. So I would really appreciate if you guys can help me out here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is there anyone else from the audience wishing to speak on this matter? Seeing none, are there any questions from the commission staff to the applicant?
Yes. I wanted to ask, I know on I think it's the general plan, it was saying that there's going to be measures put in place to avoid over-serving patrons and serving alcohol to minors, but I didn't see specific measures in the plan. Is it listed in the plan?
So one second, Jesus, is this question, are we going to be addressing the person who's on the phone or the woman in the register?
Either one can
Sure.
respond, but I think the person that's here would want to.
Sounds good. Hi, would you like to please answer the question?
What is it? I'm sorry?
So I know in the general plan, it said that there's going to be measures put in place to avoid over-serving
Oh, yeah.
patrons and minors,
Yes.
but I didn't see any specific like measures listed in the plan.
Oh,
So I just wanted to know what measures would you take? Because I know in previous projects, we've had like that the business would be willing to drive the patrons, or, just as an example.
what do you mean? Like,
That's just an example. But what I'm trying to say is, what measures will you put in place to make sure that you're not over-serving patrons alcohol, but specifically minors? My concern, because the high school is directly
Oh, no,
across
yeah.
from the
no, of course.
restaurant.
I'm a mother, and I know what you mean. I will ask for driver license, first of all, and I will, that's my major thing. And I won't be serving to minors, specifically to minors, but I will ask for an ID, to prove that they're over the age. And I will, and this is why the reason I close early, because, it's a hamburger place, and kids go over, they do. But it's only the most that I'm gonna be serving alcohol, it's gonna be only on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, which is the normal where I sell the most. That's about it. I'm pretty sure on the other days, it's lonely, it's a commercial area. If you see it, it's very lonely. That's why I close at 6 o'clock.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
If I may, I'd like to also highlight some conditions of approval that are included, such as B, which is that there is a requirement that all servers complete the ABC responsible beverage service training. So that is included. Also, you can look to it was condition number G, which is requires that provisions be taken to provide public transportation to the patrons who appear intoxicated.
And just to add on that point, in the justification statement that the applicant provided, they did note the same RS responsible serving of beverages training that all the employees would be participating in. So that is something that the applicant did have in mind.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any additional questions to the applicant? No? Sorry. So again, just one feedback that I do have regarding sort of the justification statement. So even in addition to that, they did specify that they would do red plastic cups. So certainly that would help in safety if you look at it one way or the other. But certainly I know that businesses, restaurant businesses are struggling in this economy. And I know that you did make a note about sort of the revenue stream. So at least just as, not speaking for the commission, but just as just one commissioner that I would be inclined to vote for it, as again, this would hopefully increase your revenue stream and help you stay in business for a very, very long time and hopefully help promote you as expanding within the city of Baldwin Park. So I did just want to make that recognition or recognize that note. Seeing that there are any additional questions. Okay, so seeing that there are any additional questions for the applicant, I now will be declaring the public hearing closed. Is there a motion to approve this project?
I will motion to approve.
And then I'll second it. Roll call, please.
Chair Peña,
Yes.
Vice Chair Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner Escobosa,
Yes.
Commissioner Miranda de Zib.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Great, thank you so much. So as a result, the Planning Commission has, and bear with me, voted to find the proposed project is exempt from the environmental review under CEQA and the state CEQA guidelines, specifically that the project is categorically exempt from CEQA under the guidelines section 15301, as the project consists of adding an ABC alcohol license type 41 to an existing restaurant as well as the commission has voted to adopt Resolution PC 25-10 approving a resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of Baldwin Park approving an on-site alcohol sales for beer and wine type 41 in conjunction with an existing full-service restaurant, in this case Cali Fresh Grill Worldwide, Inc., in the IC Industrial Commercial Zoning District pursuant to Table 153.050.020 of the Baldwin Park Municipal Code, location being 15028 Ramona Boulevard, and applicant being Cali Fresh Grill Worldwide, Incorporated, case number CP 25-02. Great. Of course. On to the third case of the agenda is to request the approval of the zone variance to permit installation of a new mechanical equipment on the existing water treatment facility located in FC Freeway Commercial Zoning District. We're ready for your report.
Thank you, Chair. 1 second. Okay. Good evening, Chair, Vice Chair, and honorable members of the Planning Commission. Before you is zone variance application ZV 25-01, requesting approval to modify previous site approvals that apply to an existing water treatment facility to allow for the installation of a new mechanical equipment that will exceed the previous approved height on the site. Next slide, please. The subject property is located at 14124 Corax Street. The subject site is currently developed as an approximately 45,840 square foot groundwater treatment facility for the San Gabriel Valley Water Company, which is comprised of 5 lots. 14124 Corax Street is the southwesternmost lot of the facility, as shown on the current slide. The subject property is surrounded by existing residential uses to the north and south of the property and industrial uses to the west of the site. Directly north of the subject property is the Interstate 10 freeway. Next slide, please. The project site is located within the Freeway Commercial or FC zoning district designation in the City of Baldwin Park zoning map. The general plan land use designation for the site is general commercial, which is consistent with the FC zoning district designation. The existing groundwater treatment facility is consistent with the city's general plan and zoning code requirements. Next slide, please. The applicant, San Gabriel Valley Water District, or SGVWC, is requesting to replace 4 air stripper towers on the project site, as noted in attachment number 2 of this item staff report. The project site is currently developed and utilized for the treatment of contaminated groundwater, wherein the air stripper towers are proposed to be replaced as a part of ongoing maintenance for the project site. In addition, SGVWC is requesting to increase the capacity and height of the existing air strippers on the project site, as they intend to increase the water production capacity by replacing the existing 23-foot tall towers with 2 new 47-foot tall tanks. The image shown on the current slide illustrates the height of the existing towers relative to the surrounding area. Next slide, please. Shown on the current slide is a conceptual site plan for the new towers. As mentioned in the previous slide, SGVWC is requesting only to deviate from the previously allowed height for the existing towers, and the proposed layout of the equipment to be replaced complies with all other provisions of the municipal code. Furthermore, the operation of the facility as a groundwater treatment plant will remain the same as it was previously approved on the site, and no additional services or operations are proposed as a part of this request. Next slide. Shown on the current slide is the conceptual elevation view for the new towers. As noted in this item staff report, the proposed modifications to the existing towers on the project site are intended to increase the volume of water that the facility would be able to treat and subsequently distribute to customers, as noted in SGVWC's justification statement. SGVWC is required to maintain the plant in conformance with standards imposed by the state of California for safe consumption and distribution of commercial water supplies, and failure to comply with state requirements and targets could result in an increased strain on the public water supply and general public welfare, as SGVWC make note in their enclosed justification statement. Deviation from the previously approved equipment height will allow for the facility to operate in an enhanced capacity, in keeping with the SGVWC's ongoing commitment to treat contaminated water at the subject site and safely distribute said treated water to customers for commercial or other consumption. Next slide, please. A notice of public hearing was published in the local newspaper on March 27th, 2025. Additional public notices were also mailed to adjacent property owners and occupants that live within 300 feet of the project site on the same date. To date, no written or verbal public comment have been received by city staff for the proposed project. Likewise, with respect to California Environmental Quality Act, or CEQA, the project is categorically exempt from further environmental review as it falls under the category of projects noted in section 15301, existing facilities of the CEQA guidelines. Therefore, no further environmental analysis is required, and a notice of exemption will be filed for the project. Next slide. To conclude, staff recommends that the Planning Commission approve Resolution PC 25-09 to approve zoning variance ZV 25-01. Both planning staff and the project applicant are available for any questions or comments regarding the project. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that presentation. Are there any questions of staff by the commission? So one question that I do have, so the ask is for the variance, a variance in the height. So we've approved in the past being 23 feet, and now the request for the variance is to be 47 feet. Is that right? Okay. And then just to reemphasize that with this height, there is no detriment to the public. Is that right?
No.
No. Okay. So if the commission for some odd, and again, this is just a hypothetical, I'm not speaking on behalf of anyone or the net temperature, if the commission were not to approve, this, would then the applicant then go to file an appeal, and would that go into the city council? Could you?
Should the planning commission opt to deny the motion that's before them, or not the motion, but the recommendation by staff to approve the project, then the applicant is within their right to appeal the decision, and then the decision would go before the city council.
Thank you. Any questions for staff before opening up to public hearing?
I guess my question is, so you're saying for this project, we're going from 23 feet to 47 feet?
That's correct.
And in terms of the notices that that you provided to the residents, I know it's in the paper, which, to be honest, I don't know how many people read the paper anymore. And then you said you also sent notices out to people that lived within 300 feet from the site, or so if I looked at that picture with the houses just south of it, were all of those residents notified?
Yes, it's a 300-foot radius, so it's not just the properties to the south, it's also the ones to the north, to the west, to the east, and that's
The north
required
is
by
a
law.
freeway, right? You said the north was a freeway?
Yeah, but obviously extending above that.
Oh, okay, on the other side.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess my other question would be, if we allow this variance for this one proposal, how would that affect others who would come in and then, does it set a precedence?
I would advise it in this way, where this variance is site specific. It's not general to all other sites. If, let's say, another facility that's, let's say, not operated by SGVWC, but another utility purveyor wanted to request something similar, we would look at it as a case-by-case basis. So there may be cases where it would be a case where staff would recommend approval. There would be other cases where we may recommend otherwise, but it's not a one-size-fits-all approach.
Thank you.
It's a good question. Yes, Jen.
I do have a quick question. I am trying to find it, but do we know how many gallons of water are currently treated versus what the modification would allow for?
The exact quantity, I'm not too sure. I would defer to the applicant to respond to that question.
All right, seeing no additional questions to staff, I will now declare a public hearing open. I'll ask the applicant to please go to the podium, and you'll have 3 minutes just to provide any comment on what we've heard or even just the justification. All right, thank you.
Yes, my name is Stephen Walker. I'm with Civil Tech Engineering. We're doing the design for the client, San Gabriel Valley Water Company. I would make one small correction to what was stated. The current height of those towers is 35 feet, and we're asking to go to 47. So it's not such a drastic jump from, I believe it was stated as 23. And then there was a question about the capacity. Currently, they're permitted for, I believe it's 7,800 GPM. However, due to the current state regulations becoming tighter on the treatment levels, they've had to reduce their capacity in part because of that, and in part because of the aging equipment. The equipment is at the end of its life cycle. It's about over 20 years old. And so the new equipment must be installed, and in order to meet the current regulations and bring the plant back to its full capacity, additional height is needed. Is there any questions I can help answer?
Sure. Was there anything else that you wanted to
No,
say? Okay, great. So we'll have you go back to your seat, and then we'll go ahead and ask anyone else trying to speaking on this matter, and then we'll ask you to come back for additional questions.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Are there any cards or speaker cards? Anyone else on this within the audience wishing to speak on this matter? Seeing none, I'll ask you to come back to the podium again for additional questions, sir. Yes. And then Chair Escobosa, you had. So are there any additional questions to the applicant? So just I did take a look at the justification statement, sir, and one of the questions that I had was, so I know you kind of mentioned already within the explanation or justification that it is approaching towards the end of the life, their service cycle, service life, I should say. So the standards are because maybe at the time they were, when they were first installed, the requirement was 35 feet. And now what I'm hearing is that the standard is now 47.
Yes, in order to the regulatory requirements are getting lower every year on the amount of the contaminant that can be allowed.
Okay.
And of course, these were built back around the year 2000, and so they're about 25 years old now. And the regulatory requirements at that time were less stringent than they are today.
You mentioned something about 7,800 GPM. Could you elaborate on that?
It's gallons per minute. Is the capacity of flow rate of the facility, and currently they're operating at less than they're permitted for that amount, and they're currently operating at less than that. Again, in part due to the higher standards required by regulatory authority, as well as the aging equipment being less efficient than it was even on the day it was installed. So it's kind of a double whammy on that.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is that it'll be at full capacity or the max efficiency per se if it is approved just to the 47 feet. I guess it's the increase in water. Is that right?
Correct.
And then would you say if this is, and I hope this doesn't sound as a leading or loaded question, I'm not, speaking from cuff, but if the commission were to approve sort of this variance, the consumers of the San Gabriel Valley Water Company would obviously benefit from this, right?
I didn't quite get the end of that question.
Sure. So the consumers of the San Gabriel Valley Water Company, should the commission approve this variance, would be benefiting from this?
Absolutely, absolutely. Again, it's a local resource. It's an important resource to the community. Without it, it would be more costly to import water from other water services. So it's economically beneficial to the community.
Great, thank you. Just wanted to get the so what part. Any additional questions to the applicant?
I don't know if this is relevant, but would it, for the consumers, where there'd be like an additional cost and like in their bills and things like that?
No, this is built into their water rates, the replacement of the equipment periodically. They forecast, each piece of equipment has a life cycle and, so it's in the budget,
Okay.
long term.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for your time.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right, so seeing that there aren't any additional questions to the applicant, I now declare the public hearing closed. I sense that there might be some additional questions to staff, so I guess we can open it up for deliberation.
I just wanted some clarification on how we went from 23, well, we didn't physically go. They've been 35, 37 feet. Was the 23 feet a typo, or are we, because I'm looking at the structure and I guess there's a couple ways I could measure this.
So the height, it's the applicant's height, it's a typo, so it'd be 35.
Okay, thank you.
Seeing that there aren't any additional questions or comments, do I have a motion to for this project?
I'll motion to approve.
I will second.
Roll call, please.
Chair Peña,
Yes.
Vice Chair Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner Escobosa,
Yes.
Commissioner Miranda de Zip.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Great. Thank you so much. So as a result, the Planning Commission has voted to find the proposed project exempt from the environmental review under CEQA and the state CEQA guidelines. Specifically, the project is categorically exempt from CEQA under the guidelines section 15301, in that it is limited to the installation of new mechanical equipment on an existing water treatment facility site. The Planning Commission has also voted to adopt the resolution PC 25-09, approving ZV 25-01, a resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of Baldwin Park, adopting the findings of fact and approving a zone variance to permit the installation of a new mechanical equipment of an existing water treatment facility located in the FC commercial zoning district. Thank you. Great, thank you. On to the next item on the agenda is the non-public hearing items. Report of officers.
I would just like to, I would like to take this time to introduce another new staff member to you. A new member of our team is here in the audience tonight. I'm going to put her on the spot. This is Emma Ramirez. Please stand up, Emma. And she's joining us. She's our new assistant planner.
Great. Welcome. We're so lucky to have you. Great. And then on to commission and staff communications.
Just one thing to mention here, and that is that we will have a meeting at our next scheduled opportunity, which is April 23rd.
Great, thank you. And I did want to note that we did have some mail correspondence come to the Planning Commission from the Baldwin Park Women's Club, inviting us to the annual fashion show where beauty is transformed. It is on Saturday, May 17th, 2025, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the clubhouse. I'll leave the flyer here for reference for everyone, and I hope to see everyone there. Are there any further comments by the commission? Seeing none? Oh, yes.
Sorry, I just wanted to add, I know for the previous, in the beginning, the comments that we had, I just wanted to clarify that the proposed project is for the city of La Puente, right? So not the city of Baldwin Park? For the public comments that we had at the very beginning.
I can address that one. No, in fact, that project, when it does come before you, will be, it is in the city of Baldwin Park. It's right on the boundary with unincorporated areas to the south of the city. But like I said, that is not before you tonight. Perhaps in the next month or two, it might make its way here.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
And of course, we'll keep an eye out for that. Seeing that there aren't any additional comments by the commission, I will accept a motion for adjournment.
I'll move to adjourn.
And I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Chair Pena,
Yes.
Vice Chair Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner Escobosa,
Yes.
and Commissioner Miranda de Zib.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We are adjourned at 7:53. Thank you so much, everybody, and good night.